The woman in your life will do what she must do to comfort you and calm you down and let you rest now. The woman in your life, she can rest so easily.
Hello everybody and welcome to Women's Spaces. My name is Elaine B.Holtz and I'm your host. And I'm going to do something different for this week's program. I decided that I would do somewhat of a commentary. And also I've gotten a few emails, people who were actually curious about me and about the program and how I started. So I think I'll start from that place. To begin with, Women's Spaces at one time was a radio show on our bilingual station here in Santa Rosa, KBBF. I was on the air for approximately, I'd say, 2.5 years. And it was very exciting at that time because there really were no women's shows, and particularly women's talk shows. It was a call-in, and it was very, very interesting to listen to some of the issues that women were presenting at that time. And then as I went to school, I got a Bachelor of Arts degree from Sonoma State, and then went on to San Francisco State and got a master's degree in education. And once I got the degree, well, the radio show just kind of fell by the wayside. And then I found myself in 2004, I was retiring. And I thought to myself, well, what do I do now? I mean, I've had a long work history. I was a corporate sales manager, and I retired from a very lucrative position and gave me a lot of status and a lot of attention. And I was trying to figure out, what do I do with my life? And I was in my backyard one day and asking, I was looking at my beautiful, beautiful oak tree, and I says, what am I supposed to be doing now? Here I am in the supposedly the greatest years of my life, and I'm kind of twiddling my thumbs. And this voice came to me and said, you have a great purpose. And I said, well, what is my purpose? And they said, your purpose is you were born a woman. And I thought, so what else is new? I'm sure women out there can relate. The idea of this is our purpose, to be born a woman, it was kind of ironic to me to hear that. And so I asked a second question. I said, well, what does that mean? And the voice came to me and said, you are the birther. You bring forth. Women bring forth the future. Women are the ones who tend the children. Women are the one who actually guarantee that we will have a future. And I thought that's really interesting, especially when I was thinking that the Iraq war was in full bloom and, the future did not look too bright. And so I went on a little bit further and I said, well, now you're telling me, this voice is telling me I'm the birther, and I need to bring that forward so other women can understand that and maybe encourage women to work for peace. I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? And they said, well, do a television show. Well, I thought, what a marvelous idea, do a television show. How do I do that? And with that, I kind of got out of my thought patterns and decided, well, I'm going to explore the community and see how can I do a television show. And lo and behold, I found public access television, and realized that I could come to here in Santa Rosa, I could take classes, and I could actually learn how to produce a television show. Well, I was thrilled. I took all the classes, and I was ready to go. And the first day I came into the studio and I saw myself on the camera, I thought, oh no, I am not going to be able to do this. And I went home. I decided I wasn't going to do the program that day. And I went home and I just got really upset. I says, how can I, as a 67-year-old woman, present myself on television? It was extremely nerve-wracking to me. And finally, my husband said to me, look, if you look at yourself as a 67-year-old, you look great. If you look at yourself as a 20-year-old, well, you're getting older and you have to accept that. And how can you be an example for other women if you're going to be so hung up on the way you look? And so I decided to move forward. I decided to go from there. I decided that I was going to do the show. And so it began. And at first, I really didn't understand what the meaning was. I did 1 or 2 shows. I interviewed people. I interviewed some friends. And then I went to a immigration rally. And my friend Lisa Sanchez spoke in Spanish. And after she was done, I just broke out in tears. And I went, wow, why am I crying? And whenever I ask myself that question, why am I doing something or what is happening, I always get my pencil and I start writing. So immediately I start writing, and what came out of that experience was the poem, I Am Women, I Am All Women. And I want to read just a little bit of that poem and just to kind of discuss it and, you know, just get some feedback from just listening to it here on the air. I am women, I am all women, and I go beyond color, religion, country, or political party. I am woman, I am all women, and in my womb since the beginning of humankind, I have provided a space for the children of the earth to grow and develop. All women, when you really start thinking about it, go through the same experience when it comes to giving birth. It has been through my pain that a child is born, and it is through my body and nurturing that those born of me have survived. I am women, I am all women, and I am tired. Well, then I went on to express what I was tired of. You know, I was tired of the pollutions. I was tired of the war. I was tired of the environment being destroyed. I was tired of no health care. I was just tired of all these different things that are going on in our culture that are really not serving us or serving the children. And it was really interesting because I came across the Mother's Day proclamation that was written by Julia Ward Howe in 1870, if you can imagine that. And one of the things that she says in here is she's talking about, there was a war going on then, and she was talking about the women of that day. And she says, arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether our baptism be of water or of fears. And then she goes on to express that we are women of one country, will be too tender to those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure others' sons. And you know, it was also interesting because the line in the poem that I wrote is I ask women, I ask mothers, I ask grandmothers, I ask fathers, tell your children to drop those guns. Tell your children to work for love and peace and equality. Tell your children who are dropping bombs on other mothers' children to stop, and stop now. That was stunning to me. This is 1870. I'm writing this in 2004. Well, I thought to myself, maybe that is my purpose. My purpose is to encourage women to get out there and work for peace and do something for the children. In fact, I even came up with the theme that if we address the world, if we just ask one simple question, what is good for the children, or is this good for the children when we make our decisions? Now, if we're going to say, is this good for the children, you know that we're going to make other decisions. I want to show you something on the screen here. This is a protest that I was at in Washington, D.C., and I ran across these young women, and I thought, this is great. War is not healthy for children and other living things. And I thought, that's it. War is not healthy for children and other living things. So therefore, if we go on that premise, and then any decision that we make, we say to ourselves, is this good for the children? So what I've tried...
The woman in your life who will do what she must do to comfort you and calm you down and let you rest now. The woman in your life, she can rest so easily. She knows everything you do because the woman in your life is you. The woman in your life knows simply what is true. She knows a simple way to touch to make you whole now. The woman in your life, she can touch so easily. She knows everything you do because the